Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a controversial view of The Sopranos. Controversial View is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss controversial movies and TV shows. The controversies vary from film to film or episode to episode. Subject matter, behind-the-scenes incidents, and other controversies are all covered in this series. Obviously, today we bring to you a TV show controversial view. Specifically, in my opinion, the greatest TV series of all time. The Sopranos was an HBO series that ran for 86 episodes, beginning in 1999 and ending in 2007. In fact, the series finale premiered on June 10th, 2007, which makes today the anniversary. That's why Jason and I are covering it today. And yes, that infamous series finale is one of the two controversies I'll be discussing. Whether or not you've seen The Sopranos, and you definitely should if you haven't, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the series finale. Titled Made in America, upon its premiere, it caused a lot of uproar. When the episode ended, people thought that their cable went out. As Journey's Don't Stop Believin' played, the episode cut to black, mid-line of the song. Like in the previous 85 episodes, the credits did not immediately show. The screen remained black for several seconds. This is what led people to believe that their cable had gone out, or that they had lost power. When the credits finally did show up, many people were furious. That's how it ends? Not everyone, though. Some people got it. They understood what had happened. I guess this is a spoiler alert, so be warned if you haven't watched The Sopranos. Although I'm sure everyone already knows about this. When the episode cut to black, there were people who believed that Tony Soprano was whacked, and those who did not. The ambiguity of it made it one of the most controversial series finales of all time. Still talked about to this day. But here's the thing. If you had been paying attention, not just in that episode, but pretty much the entire series, you knew what happened. Tony Soprano was killed. There are countless clues confirming it throughout the series, but I'm not going to go through all of them. The biggest confirmation of all, though, is this. David Chase, the creator, confirmed it. For years, he would avoid the question and not answer whether or not Tony had died at the end. It was all part of the controversy, and all part of the marketing. It kept people talking. The first time he admitted it, though, was unintentional, when he had a slip-up of words, and called the final scene the death scene. He quickly realized his slip-up, but it was too late. Then, finally, years after that, just a few years ago from today, he literally came out and said it. Tony Soprano was killed. Yet there are still fans who deny it, despite what the actual creator has stated. They claim he only says that now because of the real-life passing of James Gandolfini. But David Chase says he always knew how he wanted the show to end. It was always the plan. Now again, I'm not gonna go through all of the clues in the show that lead up to the death. I could do an entire video on that, and it would probably be hours long. It's always been crazy to me that people believe he didn't die at the end. If you believe Tony Soprano lives at the end of the series, then it's a really bad finale. If you understand that he's whacked, it's one of the greatest of all time. What would be the point of ending the finale that way? Cutting to black midline of the song, holding it on a black screen for several seconds before eventually showing the credits. Not to mention the countless things leading up to it throughout the series. There are plenty of indications in that single episode alone that foreshadow Tony's death. All due respect, and I mean that. Anyone who thinks otherwise is in denial, especially since David Chase confirmed Tony died. Sure, it's fun to create different theories when something is ambiguous, but the ambiguity is gone when the creator of the series confirms the ending. Plus, I'll say it again. If you had been paying attention, it really wasn't all that ambiguous to begin with. When the episode first aired, I couldn't believe people saw it differently. It's extremely obvious what happened, and that makes it one of the greatest series finales of all time, which is fitting, considering, in my opinion, The Sopranos is the greatest series of all time. Like I said, I could discuss this finale for hours, but I want to move on now to another controversy, and I'll be brief with this one. In our current PC culture, The Sopranos gets a lot of criticism, mostly from Gen Z. People complain about certain un-PC storylines and dialogue and stereotypes. Meadows' boyfriend Noah in Season 3 is a big one. And I remember for a while there was a rumor that a certain episode of Season 3 would be banned, even on HBO. Fortunately, it did turn out to be just a rumor. But even still, that's why physical media matters. But here's what I find so controversial about that. Why does no one have an issue with the Italian stereotypes that the show encompasses? As an Italian myself, from a huge Italian family, I can tell you something. We've never been offended by The Sopranos. We love The Sopranos because it does reflect, in a lot of ways, who we are as an Italian family. Now, don't take that the wrong way. I'm not talking about the crime and all that. But the little things, like the way they eat together and the things they say and the things they talk about, the foods they eat, the mannerisms, the way they speak. I watch certain episodes of The Sopranos and it feels like I'm watching my own family. I'll repeat, I'm not talking about all of the crime. It's not the crime family of Tony I relate to, it's his actual family. But it's worth noting that I'm not offended by that either. It's a mafia show. Why wouldn't crime be depicted? Am I offended as an Italian that Italians are depicted that way on screen? No. I truly feel, and I'm sure if people are willing to admit it, they would agree, that many stereotypes are derived from the truth. They weren't just made up out of thin air. There is some reality to them. Of course, they're exaggerated in movies and TV shows, but most times they're derived from truth. This confirms another belief I've always had. Many people just don't like seeing themselves in the mirror. Some people don't like the truth. They rather live in a fantasy world. We see it in movies and TV shows and music and even real-life issues like politics. One might even say religions, but that's, of course, controversial in itself. My point in all this is, I find it odd that people are critical about the way other cultures are depicted in The Sopranos, but not Italian culture, since the Italian characters are the main characters. Italians are the most stereotyped in The Sopranos, but guess what? I'm not offended, and you shouldn't be either. At the end of the day, as realistic as it is at times, it's still just a TV show. The greatest of all time, that is. The Sopranos, in my opinion, is essential viewing. Everyone should see it at least once. I've personally watched it more times than I can count, and you should too. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well. What are your thoughts on The Sopranos finale? Do you think Tony was whacked at the end? If not, convince me I'm wrong, and convince me the creator of the series, David Chase, is wrong too. Also, how do you feel about what I said about stereotypes? Comment below and let me know. But please, keep it respectful. Which controversial movie or TV show will we view next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.